Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9, the final regular season episode of LGAHL Rink Talk. I'm your host, Dunks, and you'll notice today that we have a large cast with some friends from the other show. So go ahead and introduce yourself, guys. Buck, Dudley, how are you guys doing?
Am I allowed to speak now? Yeah, hi, it's me. It's Dudley Durant. Hi, how are you? Bad joke connoisseur. Thank you for letting me on, and I appreciate the kind words, I guess.
And he is not pre-taped.
Yeah, he's not pre-taped, no.
That's a big thing this week. Glad to be here, guys. Sucks that we don't have Overdrive this week, but happy to help out some way in media.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you. And I'm glad you guys reached out. I mean, I would have loved to have you guys on earlier if you guys were down. I was kind of waiting for UT to get a mic, and I was going to have him on too, but apparently he's not available tonight either, so here we are. Dave, you got the cool ambiance.
Yeah, it's all E-Rice's fault too, by the way. E-Rice, you suck.
Yeah.
Rainbow!
Suck, Eric. Yes, I agree with that.
Notorious is losing it. He's all about this.
Oh, I'm giggly. I just had an ice cream, so.
I know what that does for you and me, guys like us. Yeah.
Gets me a little bit excited. It was chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should have saved it for the show. I feel bad now, but I'm a pig.
It's okay. I just went to where Rogers. I know they don't have that in Canada, but they have like this chicken sandwich with chicken, bacon, cheese, honey mustard, and like mayonnaise barbecue sauce. Oh my god, it's so good.
You're saying we don't have it in Canada, but we have all of those in Canada and have all the, tools to put it together.
Like chicken?
Yeah, too bad you couldn't put that sentence together, huh?
Yeah, weird. I've never had chicken before.
Suck my ass.
You know what? You should feel sorry for me, all right? My girlfriend is allergic to red meat.
What?
I'm stuck with chicken all the time.
No, fuck that. Just come over to my house. I'll make you a steak.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, Dave, I'll give you a good old nice American steak.
Yeah. How far of a drive is that for you?
Well, I'm on the west coast of Canada.
Yeah, and I'm in
So
DC.
So 6 days?
Yeah, it'd be a while.
Just don't stop. Just drive all the way through. Just drink Red Bull. Gives you wings.
Okay, done.
Yeah. We're not paid to say that.
Advertising 101.
Yeah, we're not paid to say that. All right, so moving on. This is the episode. Wow, I just lost my train of thought. This is the episode where we talk about playoff predictions, and we're going to do half of the award predictions for the season. Not everything. I don't see a good reason to be honest. And then we'll do the other half next week, so we have a little bit longer show with there only being 4 series. Yeah, 4 series next week. So we're going to go ahead and roll right into playoff predictions. And starting off with, let's go with Dudley, the honorary guest. Dudley, who do you have for the, now I got to remember, the Charlotte Lehigh series?
For the Charlotte Lehigh series, I have Lehigh Valley. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't really have that much faith in Charlotte. And this may be a front to maybe me calling them out, but let me tell you, I don't think Charlotte is that good. Ironic enough that Bakersfield Condor is saying that, but I don't think Charlotte is that good. I think Lehigh Valley has more experience, especially with Nuge there. I'm not saying he's going to do it all, but I don't know. I just don't see them coming out of this. I mean, you look at some of the players on their team. Nuge is there, Bogey's there. Marner is pretty good on their team. He's got 55 points in the season so far. McQuaid is not so bad in his own right either. I just don't think Charlotte has enough to really beat Lehigh Valley, to be honest. So I just don't see it. And because Yeti is an idiot. So. Am I allowed to say that here?
Yeah, that's fine. It's still
like,
I mean, I'm talking now, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw out my prediction. I disagreed with you. I do think Charlotte has what it takes to get it done, and Dave has a cat. I do think they have what it takes to get it done. They have All on Chains, Chucky, JV, all guys that it's their first season in the AHL, and they have done great things. Flinney was sent down from, I believe it was Vancouver, and he's now on their team, and he was an NHL guy, and he plays over in PSN. Points for style, he's put it together really well. I'll be honest, they also have Jonas Peterson. You can't forget about him. I mean, he backstocked Manitoba last season, so we'll see what they get done. What do you think, Dave?
Well, I have the opposite idea of Dudley, you know, because we can never see eye to eye.
When do we not, Dave? Come on.
But I'm gonna have to go with Charlotte. I mean, they're riding a 14-game win streak, and they've got 50 more goals or so than Lehigh, and 20 to 30 less goals against throughout the season. So I just think they're going to carry that 14-game win streak right into the playoffs, and I don't think it's going to be a very long series. Sad to say.
We'll see what happens. I think it'll be pretty long, to be honest. I think Nuge will probably win both of his games, and then we'll see what happens from there. But
Cat number 2.
Charlotte takes it. I hate you. Just flaunting your cat's junk in the camera. Puck, who do you got?
Personally, I also have Charlotte. I don't, as Dave just said, they're riding a 14-game win streak, and I think that's going to carry over into the playoffs here, because if they can carry that against their own division at the end of the season and then continue, they're playing their division now at the start of the playoffs, I'm pretty sure that they can handle it, no problem. Figuring that they finished 13 points ahead of second place and the rest of the division was extremely tight. I don't see Lehigh giving much of a challenge, just because Charlotte's got 3 full forward lines that have depth, and their goaltending is stellar from top to bottom. I don't know exactly their defense, how that's been doing this season, but I know Gunn has stepped up as their top line defenseman, so it depends on, I guess, if they can shut down that top line for Lehigh.
And last but not least, we definitely save the best for last. Notorious.
Number 1, don't ever say "cum gun" again. That was fucking horrible. So I agree with a lot of what you guys were saying. Charlotte comes in hot, winning 14 straight. They got Alan Chains. He's got 72 points on the left wing. Jonas Peterson, 33 wins. That's a recipe for a strong playoff run. But the thing is, I have a pretty strong dislike for Yeti, like most people. I kind of hope he loses.
Imagine my shock.
Imagine. So I'm going to pick Lehigh Valley. Just like Dudley. Dudley, we're together again.
Yes.
What does that say? Free Dudley? What the fuck?
Speaking of freeing people, free my boy C-Train.
Oh my
God. Okay, I take that personal, okay? He was on my team.
This is already going off the rails. Oh boy. All right. God damn it. Moving on to our next series, we have the Providence Bruins versus the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Let's go ahead and go in reverse order. Notorious, who do you got?
Yeah, so Providence versus Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Both teams are nearly identical in points, wins, losses, goals for, home record, away record. I figured you flip a coin. I get the coin. I've got heads. Providence wins.
Oh yeah, that's a great. I like that. That's a great one. Buck.
I got Providence in this one. They have a lot of friends playing together, as we all know. Chemistry in this game is the key, compared to where Wilkes-Barre has a lot of cancerous, I would say, players on their team, or hot-headed players. We all know Canada. We all know Stop Noto. What they're like at all times. I also think that the fact that the management of Providence has a lot more experience in the AHL as well as playoff experience compared to where Giannis and Slurpee are coming up from the CHL. Yes, they might have been successful there, but it is a different league still. So I don't think it's going to go very far. If it does go far, it's because I think of the goaltending situation. King of Nye has done a lot for Wilkes-Barre this season, so if you can steal a few games for them, they could win it, but otherwise it's going to be Providence series.
Let the record show I agree with you about the Canada being a douche canoe and a cancer, but Stop Noto I don't get. I've never ever seen that guy be an asshole to anybody except to Canada. I mean, maybe I'm off here, but
I would agree.
Can be. It depends on who you talk to.
Yeah,
okay.
it depends on what circle you're in, right? So I've never had problems with Noto either.
No,
Except
not
that he said
yet.
steal my name.
Yeah,
If you
no,
talk
it was
to
a good
me, I've
one.
never heard of the guy, but
Yeah, well, we've never heard of you, idiot.
oh yeah, that's the point.
I guess we have to hear from you now, though. Go ahead and give your prediction. Whatever it's going to be, it's probably wrong.
Well, yeah, well, okay. All right, whatever. I went with the Penguins in this one. Not so much a coin flip like Notorious, but it was almost to that point. Like the teams are so close, identical home records, identical away records. But what I looked at was just like the first series. I looked at their records or their streaks, with the Penguins running a 3-game win streak and the Providence Bruins on a 4-game losing streak. I think that's going to play a factor on the momentum going into the series. So I think the Penguins are going to win. It's going to be very tight, probably a 7-game series, but I think the Penguins are going to win.
That's a fair, whatever the word is, prediction.
Breakdown?
Jesus, breakdown, whatever you want to call it. I'll be honest. I picked Providence. So yeah, Dave, you were wrong. Thank you for coming out.
Oh yeah,
but,
I forgot to
you
pick
can
the
go home.
Penguins. I got a yellow light that looks like a normal light.
What are you going to post it on the thing? So, anyways, here's why
I won
picked
last year, by the way.
Providence. Ambient, hell of a player and a great guy, and we all know how good he can be. Glex has been a great defenseman all season. Torball's played in the NHL before and put up decent numbers. Jonah, another great team, and Ariasaki has backed up that team all season long. I will say they have Drake and Spruce Moose still. I always gave them shit last season for being terrible with their ridiculous price tags. But Spruce Moose has put up a decent year. Drake, nah, but I won't give him too much crap. One thing I don't like is I'll be honest, the addition of Swiss and at the deadline there. He just hasn't been getting it done, so we'll see what they do with him in the playoffs. But I definitely think Providence takes this one. Just, based on things we talked about before, the hotheads, people getting in each other's heads over on Wilkes-Barre, things like that, and we'll see what goes from there. But that's my prediction. What about you, Dudley?
I have to go with Providence here. Providence in 6, and here's why. A lot of these guys on this Providence team, I remember from a couple of old Manitoba teams a couple of seasons ago, primarily Ambient and Rousey. Also, Datsuki and Deep and Drake have played together for a very long time. These guys play with each other constantly. Just from offhand knowledge, I know this. And regarding Swiss, as much as he may not be having a good season so far, I think this is a good team for him. They have a lot of solid players on this team. I don't know exactly who he's been paired with yet, but I know that he's moved from center to left wing, and he's a lot better on the wing instead of how he was at center for Syracuse. So I think, personally, if they become a solid unit in terms of chemistry, I think they'll take the series in 6, honestly. I think they have a lot of good pieces here. You mentioned Plex. Someone mentioned Plex, who's a solid teammate. And Drake, as much as you may want to crap on the guy, I don't want to say I have a hard on, but I've played with this guy. He's a good guy, always around, does a lot for the team, and I think they will come out in 6.
Well, no, you totally just admitted to having a hard on for him, so we're going to roll with that for sure, without a doubt.
Well, we don't discriminate here. I am not of that persuasion.
No discrimination here at all. Everybody gets love on lovegaming.com. Anyways, so Paul's shaking his head. He doesn't like that. It's okay. I said something worse earlier. I said lockjawgaming.com. I have no idea where I thought of that or why it popped in my head, but it was just terrible.
We all know why that popped in your head.
Eat your brain squirter, buddy.
You know. But anyways, our next series is Utica and the Marlies, and we'll go ahead and run it with Dave this time. Dave, what do you got?
Okay, and just before you started your prediction last time, I just had to point out that last season I did win the predictions. I won the whole prediction thing at the end of the playoffs. So yeah, screw you. My predictions are always right. But looking at this Grand Rapids Manitoba series, or wait, no, Toronto Utica. Sorry.
God, you're a mess.
I am a mess, but I've always been a mess. Looking at that series, the goal differential for goals for is way too huge in Utica's favor, and the goals against, again, way too huge in Utica's favor. I honestly don't even think the series is going to be close. I think it's going to be Utica all the way. Also, my lights are on mood lighting.
Yeah, well, it's getting me all riled up.
I hate you guys.
You're welcome.
I really do.
Do you like it? See when I
What the fuck is going on?
See what happens when you bring Dudley and I on a show.
Yeah, this is okay. Go ahead, Buck.
I was moaning to show you what mood lighting's like.
All right, so I have Utica in 4 in this one. Just for the sole reason, as Dave said, the goal differential is huge. Just looking at it, Utica is a plus 92, and Toronto's a minus 40 in goal differential. Major reason for that is that Lazy can't stop a puck all season. He's been terrible.
That's for damn sure.
He doesn't have my goalie stats from last season, but he's getting pretty damn close, and we all know how bad that was. So, yeah, Utica all the way. 4.
Speaking of your goalie stats last season, who played on your tag the other night when you ECU'd?
Last night?
Yeah.
Probably Darcy.
That's got to be it, right?
Yeah. I played because I actually bitched about it. I was like, no, I got to watch the Sharks game. And then they're like, it's an LG game. I was like, right. Okay, I'll play.
Dude, I can't believe, speaking of the Sharks, I can't believe they swept. I didn't have that. I had them winning, but I didn't have them sweeping. But totally unrelated. I just thought. I remembered because I was like, fuck, I didn't even pick Vegas winning, much less sweeping the series. So I'm just like, what the hell?
I didn't pick Vegas winning either. So.
But anyways, Notorious. It's on
Would you
you.
like me to speak?
Yes, please.
Allow me. Utica, Toronto. I'm a proud Toronto Marley sitting on the TC, but unfortunately, I can't be used for playoffs. So Toronto, you're fucking dead. You guys are going to be in trouble. Utica is powerful. They're too strong on the back end. Second lowest goals allowed behind Manitoba. It's not going to be pretty. If Toronto steals one, I would consider that a victory for them. So Utica wins big.
I think JC Enterprise has a chance to maybe steal a game or two for them if he's playing with Lusky. But I don't know their lines. I definitely have Utica shit stomping Toronto. Like, as much as I love Lazy and I think Dreamy's a great goalie. I don't see it happening at all. Outside of Enterprise and Lusky, I mean, I don't see anybody that jumps out as me as a guy who can go out there and just absolutely carry the line or carry the team and to win a game. And
you mean because I can't play? Is that
yeah. Sorry. Well, I said on the roster, not on the TC.
Oh,
on the TC. Don't worry. There's no disrespect coming from me, Notorious, at all.
I mean, if Dreamy can steal a game for them too.
Yeah, if Dreamy can steal a game, maybe. But we'll have to see.
Steal. They have to steal them because they're not going to outskill them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, during our All-Star game predictions, I really talked up Enterprise, but the other night he was invited to play club, and he asked who his D partner was, and then they said Dave, and then he left immediately. So I don't like him anymore.
Poor Dave is hurt.
You're off my.
First time I ever talked to the guy.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, big move.
That is
Yo, fuck you, JC Enterprise. I hope you lose both your games.
that is crazy.
I don't know.
Oh my god, that's
Get that move.
ridiculous.
Dudley's got some crazy background noise tonight.
Okay, you know what? Just for posterity purposes, I'm coming back in.
It sounds like you're in a car.
Yeah.
Like you're driving down the street and your
With your
computer's
windows
set up
open.
in your car.
I will be right back. Carry on.
Are you sure? It's your turn to make your prediction.
Okay, can you hear me though?
Yeah.
Speak-
I can
speak
turn your
that
volume.
loud.
I'm
Okay,
turning your volume
my
up.
prediction, and I'll come back in. I
Okay.
think Utica's going to win in 4. I don't think Toronto has a chance. I don't think Toronto has a chance, and they're just too powerful. I can sit here and go into detail, but I don't know. Faces somehow has this thing of making good teams, even though he's bad himself. So,
That's a lie. I was on a team once.
So, yeah, I was on that team too, Dave. I understand. So, yeah, that's Utica in 4.
That's fair. All right. Dudley, you'll return soon. Don't free Dudley. All right. So, moving on to the. Oh, he just completely backed out of the call. Savage. Okay. Next series. We're gonna start moving this along a little bit. It's already 10:35, guys. Let's roll right into Rochester Laval. With Buck. Why don't you start us out?
All right, so this is going to be a tight series, I think. Both teams have a lot of goaltending that are very strong, and it was, again, I found that Laval, even though they picked up a couple acquisitions at the end of the season that were chemistry-wise and top players, they have a few players that have obviously played together for a long time also in Rochester. I have Laval in 7 just because I think Angry Fawn will steal a few games here for them.
Okay. No, that's fair. Sorry, I was recovering from my yawn. To be honest, I'm kind of tired. Dave, who do you got?
For this one, I actually picked Rochester. This was a very tough series for me to look at because I was looking at home and away stats, and Laval's better at home, but the Rochester Americans are better in away games. Looks like Laval's better in 1-goal games, but in the end, I picked Rochester Americans because they've got better scoring. They've scored more goals this season, and in these close games, the more goals you score, the more likely you are to win. So I just don't think that the Laval defense is going to be able to keep up to the Rochester Americans offense.
That's fair. Go ahead, Dudley.
I have Laval in 6. I just think Rochester falls short, honestly. I think Laval, I'll tell you what, UT is a wonderful goalie. I'm not saying that because he's on Overdrive. I just think he will make the difference with this team. Even though there's some players here on Laval that I may not be too familiar with, it seems like Provorov and Wiener have put together a really solid team. I think UT is the difference between the series. So I think I have Laval in 6.
I did not go with that. I picked Rochester. The reason I picked Rochester, and this honestly is a tough series because they are pretty well evenly matched up. I love Johnny. I love Kelly, and guys like that. I love Provorov on Laval. UT obviously is a great goalie, but I think Angry Fawn edges him out by just a touch, and I think the chemistry aspect on Rochester is going to really come into play. Plus, they have KUST, who's been solid. Pasternak, we had him on San Jose for a little while. He wasn't bad. Duke Lair, I played club with him before the season started. He's not bad. There's a lot of good players. Plus, they had Large, who played in the All-Star game and did pretty well. So I definitely picked Rochester. I don't have a prediction when. I do say Rochester. Who's up? Notorious, you're up next.
Yeah, I'll make it real quick. I'm not real familiar with Rochester's guys. UT is a QT, as I hear in the chat box. So I'm thinking Laval winning a series that nobody even watches. So
that's bold.
I don't feel there's any pizzazz to the series at all.
I agree with you. I agree on that. Yeah.
I think this is the paint drying series, and it to me it doesn't really matter who comes out of it. You got to face Utica next, and you're screwed. So
yeah, I think Utica comes out of these. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see what the team in the other division does, whichever team comes out of there. But all right, moving on to our next series, we have the. Do we want to talk about this one, or do we all just want to say that Manitoba wins in 4?
Yeah, Manitoba wins. Okay.
Yeah, is that it?
Too big.
Everybody cool?
Manitoba's got it. Yeah. We all know that.
Manitoba has the bye to the second round. Sorry about that.
Grand Rapids, I hope you win, but you're probably not going to win.
Yeah, sorry. Rip the dream, boys.
Was kind of cool.
Well, hang on. We did say the same thing about Iowa last season. I'm pretty sure everyone said it. And they made it interesting at the very least.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They beat the Manitoba third line.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I don't even know which one was the third line on that team, but yeah, I don't think as much as I'd love to see, Manitoba out of it because they just slap the shit out of me every time I play them. It's just not going to happen. Moving on, we have what I feel is probably
the most
I don't know,
evenly matched series.
Yeah, evenly matched series in the West. The
disagree.
Cleveland Steamers versus the Chicago Wolves. Dave, since you're on Cleveland, why don't you start us out?
Well, I'm going to start us out with saying that my last game this week was against Chicago, and we killed them, and that's it. We killed them, and I was playing, so that doesn't bode well for Chicago. So I think that Cleveland's going to win. I'm probably biased, but I honestly think Cleveland's going to win.
That's fair.
Because I've played with these guys. We've been behind the 8 ball on a couple line matchups before and still come out with the win. And I've played with all 3 lineups on Cleveland, and I think that the depth is there to win against almost any team in the playoffs this year. But again, that's a biased opinion. Don't believe me and play really bad against us, please.
You just send me one of those mood lighting things. The more I just watch you talk, the more I just get kind of.
It's actually really interesting. You just stare at it.
Yeah, I feel like that's really calming when I'm playing PUBG or something.
Yeah, you don't yell as much.
Wow, Dudley, you sound terrific right now because there's no background noise. I don't know if you're muted. Oh, you're frozen.
No, he's on his phone.
I'm on my phone now.
I'm on my phone now. Yeah.
It's better, though.
Can you
guys hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
You sound sensational, in all seriousness.
Thank you.
You were killing me earlier. As much as I love you.
Although now your video quality is a potato, at least we can hear you properly.
Yes, I agree.
That's all that matters at this point, to be honest.
We're gonna have to do the UT treatment and get you a mic.
No, we need him to pre-record. He'll be fine.
I don't want to make him do that. Anyways, Notorious, who do you got for Cleveland, whatever the other team is? I forgot already.
Yeah,
Chicago.
Yeah,
there we go.
So Cleveland is going to be my dark horse team for the West. I feel they're West finalists. I don't know if that's the kiss of death or not. Me picking them. I'm sorry, Dave and gang.
I hate you. No. Shut up right now.
I feel that Darcy carries them to victory. He's just playing too good, and the defense in Cleveland is really nice. So I'm picking Cleveland in an abbreviated talk about here.
Did you say the defense in Cleveland is very nice?
It's very nice. Led by you, Dave. You're the nicest.
We're nice guys, yeah.
You are nice.
Yeah, but you know what they say? Nice guys finish last. So GG, Dave.
Means I last longer.
See?
I also picked you, so that's not good, but whatever.
Typically, never mind. I'm not going to go there. No, I'm not. Never mind. We're going to keep this G-rated. Buck, who do you got?
I also have Cleveland in this. Only reason why I have two reasons why. One, I don't like seventh. Second one is more logical. Darcy in his career in LG has played on some mediocre teams and put up incredible stats. This season, he's on a good team and has put up his best stats yet. Looking at previous seasons as well, where Darcy's made the playoffs, he shines even more than he does in the regular season. So I just think that carries over.
That's fair. And Dudley?
I have Cleveland because I also don't like seventh as well. But one of the deciding factors outside of Darcy Kemper just being absolutely insane is this guy who I had on my Manitoba training camp a couple of seasons ago by the name of Mexican Ninja. I've played with this guy. He's carried me many times when I had him as an ECU. And this dude is just absolutely a beast with the sticks. So I think if his line gets going and they do what they did during the season, I think they'll be okay. So I have Cleveland in 5 because Chicago just seems weak compared to Cleveland.
Yeah, I think something where a lot of us are overlooking too is they have POTUS as their backup, who is pretty fucking good goalie as well.
POTUS is awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
I agree.
He was the starting goalie for Laval last season, who went to the Cup final. But they got Vacuum Cube, Mind Trip, obviously Dave, Dudas Devin, Timos, and Bubble Kush on D, all good D-men. And then, as we touched on before, their forwards are just as good as well. Casey's a great center. Garbs is a good right wing. Ninja as well. Neverth, yeah. I'm just, come on now. This team is a great team, and I did pick them. I'll be honest, I was expecting a little more like differences between us, but I'm not surprised. I guess I was just kind of shocked. One thing I will say, Chicago does have Cam, who's can play any forward position, and he's been playing with I believe it's Bryce. Yeah, Bryce, and him and Bryce have been playing unbelievable all season. So maybe they can win a game or two, and the other teams can squeeze out a win here, and we'll see game 7. But time will tell. Next series, fuck.
The R series.
Yeah. My series. I don't want to talk about it. Notorious, go ahead.
Western Pacific, Stockton versus San Jose. You know those guys, Dunks? You know any of those guys?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. This is a tough series. Both teams are very good. Like the whole Western Pacific, that was a debacle last week. 5 teams fighting for 4 spots. It could have been anybody in and anybody out. I think this is really a strategy series, line matching and getting those right matchups. So I feel the team that wins is the team that strategizes best, the team that makes the best game plan, the guys that have the best availability. That to me is the game changer in this one. I feel that Bryson just outmanages Stockton for the win. So I'm picking San Jose to win the series.
That's fair. You did mention availability. I told Bryson that my CHL PSN team comes first because we're in the second round. So
I overheard that. Yeah, that's a bold move.
Yeah. So my availability is shit. But Dudley, who do you got for the San Jose Stockton?
I think as much as I vehemently dislike Stockton, I think this will go 7, and I have to give the edge to San Jose. I have nothing against Axie. I just don't like him. Not him, but his team. I just don't like his team. But I think, personally, I'm piggybacking off what Mr. Notorious said, is that I just think when it comes to scheduling and trying to get his team in the right situation, I think Bryson will do a better job. I think he has a little bit of an edge. He has offs on his team, so I think that's kind of a factor to throw in there as well. And I just, every time my team has played against them, I mean, granted, we weren't the best, but I just think that Bryson, he killed us, so I'm sure he'll be able to put a pretty good hit on Stockton. But I think it'll go 7, honestly. It's going to be a tough one, but I think San Jose edges this one out. You're welcome.
I appreciate you. All right, Buck, who do you got?
I had Stockton in 7. I think it's going to be somewhat similar to last season's first round between the two, except the roles are opposite. I think Axie and Bell will have learned their lesson from last season where they fucked up and lost that one game via forfeit because it was whatever. Can't remember right now.
Random veterans.
Yes, there we go. Possibly might see that happen again. We never know. But I'm pretty sure they've learned their lesson. Not having Grandpa Puff anymore might hurt them, but PHJ is also really solid. So I still say Stockton 7.
Yeah. And last but not least, Mr. Davidson.
You know, this looks all too familiar for myself as well. I remember going into that Stockton series and losing 2 games. That was a lot of fun. Since San Jose doesn't have me this season, I know cry about it.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes. But I think San Jose is going to pull through this time in 7 without needing a turned over game. A big factor in the way the games rolled out last season was because of Grandpa Puff, and without him, I think I don't know. San Jose is going to win in 7, maybe even 6. I'll say 6. Final answer.
Man, I don't want to make a prediction, because I didn't do it last season. I'm not doing it again this season. But I will say, both teams, obviously, I mean, I love our team. Even though I bitch about all of them in the chat box every fucking day. And except there's one center on my team who I'm not going to mention by name that I don't think is very good and I don't like. Anyways,
That's not obvious.
Guess. Everybody can guess, but I'm not going to say his name. Anyways, I played Stockton this week, and they absolutely slapped me 6-3. I played against Crotch, Euro, a couple other guys, and one, I was playing for fucking Jupiter. I was lagging like an Egyptian in outer space, but I could not fucking connect to anything. I was turning the puck over. I looked like shit. So it makes I'm not going to lie to everybody on this show and everybody watching. I'm fucking nervous for this series. I love Crotch. I love Axie. They're great people. Bell's kind of taken a backseat this season. I haven't seen him around too much. But I think it goes to 7, and it's going to be a toss-up. You guys mentioned that they don't have Grandpa Puff. I think, personally, Grandpa Puff cost them last year in Game 7. And I think PHJ is honestly maybe a better improvement on that, to be honest, to be real. So we'll see what happens. I think it comes down to whoever makes a bigger save. Jay Flickin will probably be our Game 7 guy, and PHJ theirs.
Just quick note there on...
All you got to do is when they skate down on your side, hit them.
Suck my ass.
That's why you got traded, Dave.
Yeah,
don't give him advice.
You take 2 majors in 1 game.
Yeah, thanks for that, Dave.
This is awesome. In a row that Dunks has said he likes Crotch.
Sorry, Buck. I know you had a point to make. Go ahead.
Yeah, quick note. Don't forget to go see Darcy's T-shirts about Grandpa Puff choking last year. He's still selling them, so go get those.
Dude, those were hilarious, by the way. I love that. Anyways, moving on to our next. Is that everyone? Everyone's
final series, right? Yeah.
One more series.
Last but not least, the Ontario Tucson series. I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. I, without a doubt, think that Ontario is going to win this series. I do think it'll be a tight series. I do think I'm going to say that I think every single game will be a 1 or 2 goal game because Ontario just fucking thrives on that shit. Oh, my God. They have great D-men. They have great forwards. And they play an amazing team game and a great cycle. They have the killer in net, who's had a great season, and Macedon backstopping him as the backup. You guys have heard me mention Chaos a bazillion times. I love him to death. He's a great two-way forward. Lepo has put together a great team with Pecking as well. So I definitely think it's Ontario. No offense to Tucson. They surprised a lot of people, and they did a lot better than I was expecting. But I don't think they get it done. I don't think they have the depth that Ontario has personally. But we'll see. Time will tell. Who do you have, Notorious?
This series, I really have no idea. It's one of those too close to call. I could flip the coin again. Use that bid already, though, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to say Tucson and Ontario are as close as Southern cousins. I'm pretty sure something going on there. I got a message from Bryson earlier. He tells me that Tucson regularly kisses their father. So I guess I picked Tucson to win for that reason, and because I managed there last year. So good on you, Tucson.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay.
That's where the show goes.
All right. Dudley,
Wow.
who do you got?
Oh, geez. Wow. Notorious. Goodness. This is a revelation to me. You did not reveal to me last season that you liked the, guys kissing their dads. Thanks a lot there, buddy.
Oh.
You didn't reveal that to me.
So what are you saying? If he would have liked to kiss you, Notorious.
I thought it was obvious. I don't know.
Oh, hush. As much as I want to say Tucson, I managed them with Notorious last season, and it was an absolute tire fire. But it's nobody's fault. We were just bad. I have to go with Ontario because I think after Tucson lost Crosby, let's be real here. They started the season off very well. Yes, they did. Everyone knew that. They started off very well, but I don't think that they were able to really capture that magic after they lost Crosby and after they lost Dunks is here. Danke. There we go. And I can't stand him either, but he did work for them. I don't think in all the games that I've played against them, Bakersfield wasn't a bad team, but we're not a playoff team, and we went toe-to-toe with them every single game. And it's not an affront to us, but I just know that Ontario seems to be a little more close-knit, and they're French, so they'll tabernacle all over the place. So I think Ontario has got this in 6, just because I know Tucson is very greasy, to their credit. I don't think they will pull it out, though. So I say Ontario in 6. So
I really want to test this feature that I have here that I can kick people from the call because I just got confused with Danke.
I'm sorry. No, that was just a slip of the tongue. I'm sorry about that. Feel free to come on Overdrive and insult me all you want.
We'll let it slide.
It's okay. Dunks, you don't look like Harry Potter. It's okay.
Yeah, no, you're good.
No, I look like James Corden. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yes, I know who that is. You do bear a strong resemblance to him, except you're not British.
Yeah. So. I really wish I was. Dude, that guy and I could be twins. I swear to God. I saw a picture of him. I was at happy hour with my coworkers the other day, and they told me, and I was like, who the fuck is that? I look up a picture. I was like, holy shit, that guy's my dad. Anyways, Buck, who do you got?
I don't like Eldo. I think he's going to choke both his games. And Ontario in 6.
Okay. Short and sweet.
Cut and dry.
All right. Who do you got, Dave?
I had a trouble with this one. I couldn't figure out which one to pick. So I decided to try and find some kind of weird, selfish way to decide who was going to win this series. So I looked back in my games played. Then I realized that both these teams lost to me while I was on Bakersfield. Then I saw that me and the Bakersfield Condors destroyed Ontario 5-1 in the first game of the season.
Yes, we did.
But then we destroyed Tucson 3-2 and made Crosby and half the team rage. So I decided to go with Tucson getting the win in this one just because Ontario lost to me worse.
All right.
Jeez, Dave.
Uh-oh.
Insightful observation.
I couldn't decide, man.
That's That's a nice quarter, Notorious.
That's a loony.
Oh, is it?
Jeez.
It looks silver in the camera.
Yeah, it does look silver.
Going away
Yeah.
loony right there.
All right. Sorry. I'm a little distracted.
By the way, I'm also putting that prediction as my actual prediction on the site.
Everyone's made their prediction for that series, right? We're done?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, moving on to our next little segment there. I kind of like that we all kind of, for the most part, agreed with each other. Dave was wrong a couple times, but fuck him.
Dave's always wrong.
Just you wait.
Goodness.
Just you wait.
Just I wait for what? For the next part?
No, the actual finalized series.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our season predictions or our seasonal award predictions. Sorry. And I kind of want to start this off with the Bastion, if that's okay with you guys.
Go for it.
Sure.
Mostly because I think it's going to be the easiest one. It's pretty much unanimous from what we talked about earlier. But my pick, obviously, is Darcy, a.k.a. Grandpa Puff 001, the only #1 Grandpa Puff. Darcy has been incredible all season. We've talked about him all show. He's put up incredible numbers, and I'm sure he's got his post that he's going to make in the forums about it. But he played 31 playoff teams. He had an 85% save percentage and was just pure God mode this season. Anyone else have anything to add, or does anyone disagree?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
I would add to that he was also captain of the All-Star team this year too, so that's another achievement.
Yep.
Yes, I'm going to agree and say Darcy. If this, I was trying to find the description of of one of the trophies here. I can't remember the name of the fucking trophy, which it's really pissing me off. What's that trophy? Fewest goals against, where you can have both goalies have the award. The William M. Jennings.
Yeah.
Oh,
William M. Jennings.
If
that's for the
if the
idea.
Bastion could have 2 award winners, I'd say Darcy and POTUS as probably the best goaltending duo in the AHL, and that's not because I'm biased.
There is an AHL for it. Yeah.
Straight up, I think they are the best duo in the AHL. But I also do think that Darcy deserves the Bastion award just with how many times he's bailed me out of games.
That's fair. Anyone else? Anything?
He's got nine shutouts.
I'd like to add, just looking at his stats beforehand, I used to think Darcy was terrible off of one game that I played against him where I kind of lit him up a little bit. He's not going to remember because he drinks too much, but that's a good thing for him. It keeps him good. But I look at it now and I see that he actually turned into a really solid player, and he actually, and this is one thing that's endearing outside of his statistics and everything. Not only was he the captain of the All-Star team, but the guy could take a joke, which is fun. So if there's one thing that could endear someone to me outside of your stats, is the fact that you can take a joke. And I think I may have just asked him out on a date, but I will decline that. But no, he seems like he's got his stuff together over the last couple of seasons, and he can definitely hold his own in the net and with the what's the word I'm looking for? What's another word for liquor? Let's just say happy juice. Okay.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, for one, I would kiss Darcy and I'd go on a date with him. But
Yeah, it would be a riot to be at one.
I found out the name of the award, by the way. It's the Harry Holmes
Award.
Memorial Award.
Yeah.
I should have asked the AHL Encyclopedia, aka Buck.
Buck, you got anything to add?
Yeah, no, he's got 9 shutouts, and out of his 50 games this season, he only had 4 where he led in 4 Memorials.
That's bananas.
Open shut.
So let's just go ahead and move on with MVP. I started off last time and kind of popped the bubble. So let's go ahead and start off with Buck because I like his choice.
So for MVP, I know for one of the major categories and criteria of it is your strength of schedule, and then obviously how you played and who you played with, and a bunch of other stuff go into it. I picked OFS from San Jose. He went 21-6-1 this season with 87 points. Out of his 28 games, he played 19 of them against playoff teams. Right there, he already has almost double of what Gord and Arctic Blur and all them from the top Manitoba line have. Shout out to them. They still played fantastic all season, but he had still 87 points. A lot of games against playoff teams. He's still plus 25 like this season, so he has backstopped the Barracuda like offensively, putting in points. And honestly, if they didn't have him, they probably wouldn't have made playoffs. So.
Oh, this week he was absolutely incredible in the two games that he won Ontario. So we scored 9 goals as a line this week, and he had 9 points.
Yeah.
So I mean, he definitely is a catalyst, and I love that pick. I didn't even look at him, to be honest, because I didn't think anything of it. But he did have an incredible season. Who do you got? Let's go with Notorious.
All right, so I don't know if this is going to be a popular choice or not. I've decided my MVP pick is going to be from Stockton. I'm picking XX PDMac XX for my MVP. 6 goals, 29 assists, plus 48 playing defense. At a 23-4-1 record there in Stockton. The stat that I really like, though, is his takeaway giveaway ratio. Had 165 giveaways and 121 takeaways, which is only a negative 44 on the season, which is not too bad. And 15 of his games that he played were against playoff teams. So I liked his strength of schedule, even though it was like 15-13, I think, was the ratio. Still, I liked him as my MVP. Don't think he'll be first ballot, but for me, I was impressed.
Well, that's fair. I'm going to go ahead and roll with mine. I picked this person. Everybody who knows me knows I love a good gamer tag. And Bryson and I have joked about this gamer tag for years, ever since I first noticed this guy. But he did have a pretty good season on a good team in a sense. I still, we talked about it earlier. We don't think they're going to win their playoff series, but we'll see what happens. But I picked the one and only Alon Chains. I love his gamer tag.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But he did put up incredible numbers. He played against 16 playoff teams. He had 72 points. And, sorry, give me a sec here. He went 19-8. So 38 points that he picked up for the Charlotte Checkers in those games. The thing I liked most about him was how versatile he was. He played every single forward position this season. He played some left wing. He played some right wing. He played a week at center. Anything the team needed from him, he did it. Plus 31 on the season, a 46.7 shooting percentage. And I thought it was a very, very impressive season. Like Notorious said, do I think he'll be first ballot? Probably not, but I do think it deserves some recognition. So great job. Who do you have, Dave?
Well, I'm not the smartest man in the world.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, we know.
I was looking this up here, and I'm like, you know what? I really like some fat geezer because he was stuck on Iowa and Texas for the most part of the season. I apparently just completely missed the fact that he was traded to Tucson entirely. I don't know how I missed that, but actually looking at it, he carried the Iowa Wild even though they were losing, and he was playing top teams. He was playing some of the better teams. Even when he was traded to Texas, he played like Toronto, Binghamton, and Belleville, so not the best teams, but he is still playing not the bottom feeders other than Belleville, but we won't go there. And then looking at his weekly report, actually, judged by the LG ranking system, his worst weeks came after he was traded to Tucson. He had his best week ever in week 7, and then it went downhill from there on Tucson. But no, he's my pick for MVP only because he's putting up a high amount of points. He's pretty disciplined, doesn't take a lot of penalties, but he's also he's producing on teams that aren't great. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a guy who's on a winning team like the Manitoba line, who's 25-2 playing mediocre teams. I'm looking for a guy who's maybe got a mediocre record, but he's been playing the top teams all season with players who aren't that great. He excels where his peers are not. And so I picked Some Fat Geezer for my MVP this season.
It's fair. And
Going off the border level.
Yeah, that's fine. It's your opinion. Just because it sucks doesn't mean it's wrong. I'm kidding.
Okay, I hate me too.
Well, we don't hate you, but we definitely give you shit a lot. But Dudley, who do you got?
I'm going to have to piggyback off of what Buck said and go with OFS. If there's something, again, that endears me or that can be endeared to me, if I'm saying that correctly, sorry if the grammar police get on my case, is someone who can carry a team offensively. Just looking at the numbers, like Buck said, Buck pretty much hit a lot of it. He played a lot against a lot of strong playoff teams, and like he said, San Jose pretty much wouldn't be where they're at if it wasn't for him. I mean, 87 points. I mean, I put up 41 points this season. I thought that was a miracle. I can reach about 79 on a good season. You put up 87 points on a team, that's pretty damn good. And also looking at his face-off percentage, that's 100%. That goes a long way considering how crappy this game is. So if you just put everything together, I think he gets the MVP for the sole purpose of that he pretty much led that San Jose team. And Dunks, you were there for most of those games, I assume. So I guess just the fact that he's up there, and I was thinking about him and Euro X Haffer. But then again, I thought, well, San Jose seems to put a little bit more of a dent when it comes to when they played, and then again, I'm not really a big fan of Stockton either. So my pick is OFS.
We for some reason, well, I know why. Tino calls him Omar. No fucking clue where it came from, but the whole team calls him Omar now. But one thing I gotta say is Off's one. He's an incredible player. He has done amazing things for this team all season long. He he was third on our team in scoring factor with a 70.7% scoring factor. So for those of you who don't know what that means, he's contributed on every goal we scored. He had a point on 70% of those goals. His offensive zone efficiency, the highest on the team. It takes him 1 minute and 45 seconds to dunk on your life. And he had the highest power play efficiency on our team with 42.6. He's incredible. He really is. And he was right around middle of the pack in our own inefficiency, but that's no falter to his own. He's a left wing, probably the least defensive forward on the team. But nonetheless, he still had the highest personal penalty kill percentage at 90.2%. So he's not my pick, obviously, because we already went through mine. But Offs is definitely a deserving candidate and definitely had a great season. And honestly, I can't believe I overlooked him. We're moving on to Eddie Shore, right? Like
Yes,
that's
we are.
everyone? Okay. I can't count. All right, let's do this one quick. I'm gonna start this one out. My Eddie Shore pick. He was mentioned previously by our good friend Notorious Fat.
Yeah.
And mine is PD Mac for sure. PD Mac had a great season this year on Stockton. He put up incredible numbers. He had, now I got to pull it back up, 23, 4-1 with 35 points and a plus 48. 121 takeaways, which I believe led the league. If I don't
Second.
Second, you're right, it was second. But the takeaway to giveaway ratio was so good, and he broke out the puck so smoothly. I couldn't overlook that. So I definitely went with PD Mac. There was nobody that I think deserved it better, but that's to be seen. Who do you guys or who do you have? We'll go with Dudley.
Unmutes himself first.
Oh, that'd be helpful.
Whew.
Me too.
Okay. Oh, is it my turn?
Oh,
Oh, sorry. I had a little bit of a connection delay there. My fault. So, okay. My short pick for D, and this is probably either going to go against the grain or I'm probably going to agree with everyone, well, outside of you, Dunks, of course, is Nuge. And there's a couple of reasons why. If you go for 8 mil, okay, you normally expect for them to have a really crappy season because the whole team can't surround him with good players. But going for 8 mil plus 6, 33 points with a 13-8-3 record, and they're in the playoffs, I think that's remarkable in its own right. From personal experience, I've spent a lot of money on defensemen, and unfortunately, in Tucson last season, Notorious can attest to this. We spent a lot of money on one guy who shall remain nameless, and it didn't go so well. But then again, he didn't have the talent as much as Nuge does. So my sure pick for defense is going to go to Nuge. And Nuge and I go way back, I guess, to VHL. He probably doesn't know me that well, but I know him. That sounds kind of creepy. But yeah, my pick is Nuge for the Eddie Shore Award.
Nuge's new theme song is "I Always Feel Like
Somebody's watching me." Talk to me.
Surprised Buck didn't shake his head at that one.
I was about to, but
this is what he deals with every week on Overdrive. So
I used to it. All right, go ahead. Hit me with what you got, Buck.
I also have PD Mac. You already went through it. 23, 4-1. Majority of the game also against playoff teams. I didn't count, but I know it was over half his games. He was second in points amongst defensemen behind Bryson. Bryson was playing offensive defenseman. PD was playing very defensive defenseman, so shout out for that. Also, as I mentioned and you mentioned, 121 takeaways, which was second in the league, plus 48. Like, you can't ask for much more from your first line defenseman to be putting up numbers like that. It doesn't matter who you play, when you play. If you can do that and consistently do that, you are considered one of the best. Yeah,
I agree. Obviously. Dave, your lights are really flashing really hardcore, and I want everyone to see, so let's go ahead and go with you. Sorry, Notorious.
His lights have been tripping me out for like the last 10 minutes now.
Dave.
Oh boy, I think his brain broke, guys.
Oh, fuck. There's this mute button here on this thing, you know?
You're a fucking idiot. I hate you. Go, hurry up.
Well, just trying to distract everybody. And drag this on so it takes forever and everybody's...
Goodness gracious, Dave, is your brain broken?
Because I'm still talking. But I'm going to go with PD Mac. I'm honestly not going to say much because I think the guy deserves it. Looking at the defensive stats, I mean, yes, like Bryson put up more points, but as far as I'm concerned, PD Mac put up better defensive points, better giveaway, takeaway. The plus minus was there. Plus, he was second in points. So, honestly, looking at all defensive statistics, I think PD Mac deserves it.
What do you got, Notorious?
There's no point in me saying anything. You already know I have PD Mac. So I'm going to take my 30 seconds here to plug something else. I have another award I would like to put out. It's actually for one of our members here from Rink Talk, Mr. Dangs, who couldn't be with us today. So I have a beautiful award for him I'd like to present right now. This is for the Outstanding Achievement in Piss Poor Internet. This is indeed a horse's ass.
Jesus.
You go ahead
That
and
is the
put
lead.
it up on your shelf, and forever know that you have poor internet.
I
So
love
nice
you.
spot.
You're the greatest
Can you
person.
actually please send that to him like you sent the jersey to Risto? Because that would be great.
I've
I
got
fucking love you. That is sensational. I do want to take a second. Dudley, do you want to do your top 10?
Sure, why not?
All right, go ahead and hit your top 10, and then I'll close out the show.
Do it on camera, though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, Mario's here. Joining the party.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry if I look like a cheesy ball here, but okay, so tonight's top 10, this is supposed to be on Overdrive, but apparently when we ask people to show up, they don't. It's top 10 things that could happen before the playoffs start. So that's top 10 things that can happen before the playoffs. Here we go. Number 10, Yeti's brain spontaneously combusts because he found out he's only good because he got carried. Number 9, Faces cries in a corner, wishing he hadn't traded Brody. Number 7, Zaka blames EA for him being bad at the game. Number 6, Ontario goes full tabernacle. I have no idea what that means. Number 5, UT can relax because he doesn't have to worry about Dudley Do-Right scoring on him in the playoffs. Number 4, Malcheski gets Russian hackers to reinstate him, only for him to quit. Number 3, Snoopy takes all of Bakersfield players and make the playoffs. Wait, no, that didn't happen. Hold on, let me cross that out.
Almost happened. Close.
Number 2, we find out Tino is a French-Russian hacker with a great rear end. And number 1, one more lame joke and someone is calling immigration services on Dudley. There you go.
Well, hang on. You only said 9. You skipped number 8. I just counted.
Yeah, he did skip 8. What about that doghouse one?
I didn't want to put it in because I would just be mean. I didn't want to be mean. I wanted to be funny.
No, just be mean.
I also want to be mean to somebody right now.
Well, be mean to yourself, Dave. Goodness.
No. I'm gonna toot my own horn here on Zaka for a second. Zaka, I remember all throughout this season complained in the chat box. I'm sure you've all seen it, of his goal support numbers.
Of course.
Yes. So I actually decided to look into it here. So this being said, my record, I think, is better than Zaka's because Zaka's is horrendous. Zaka had a 2.19 goal support. I only had a 2.26. So I just think it's the fact that Zaka can't stop a player from coming down his side of the ice.
Bodied. Get bodied. You seen that guy
Investigator Dave at your service.
Yeah, I'm going to look at dunks too.
Well, mine's pretty high. It's like
you get lots of
2.5.
goal support?
No, I think it's like 3. Maybe.
Should I even look?
I didn't at the beginning of the year. Mine is, I'm looking right at it, 2.78.
That's actually quite a bit.
Yeah, but okay. But anyways, Bryson's calling me, so I got to hurry this up. Look.
I also realized that Coach Krass played one game for the Cleveland Monsters this season.
All right, guys, we got to hurry this up. Bryson's calling. The Fuhrer is mad. Media man.
I hate you, Bryson.
I do want to take a quick second to shout out a good friend of mine, Mr. Howie Dew.
Howie.
I was talking to Howie one day in the chat box about how I really wanted a Scuff controller, but I needed to pay off my credit card first. And he was like, hey, I might be getting a new one with my tax return. If you want my old one, it needs a couple parts, but, I'll mail it to you. And sure as shit, this came in the mail last week. And I ordered some new parts for it, and I got it working pretty well. So I wanted to say thank you to you, my friend. You truly are an amazing friend and an amazing member of LG. And Bryson is calling me for the second time in a row. So
just answer and have him on the show.
Yeah. Hey, dickhead, I'm recording right now. What do you want? You're on speaker, by the way.
You're what?
I'm recording.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Hey, hello.
Everyone says hello.
Oh, hi everyone. Somebody went to the Xbox and does that.
I don't know. Imagine my shock that I do something stupid. I'll be there in like 5 minutes. We're wrapping up.
Hang up on him.
All right, bye.
Bye.
You suck.
I feel like that was really unprofessional of me. I am sorry to all our viewers. But this has been a really long show. So let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Buck,
Bye.
Dudley, it is okay. Buck, Dudley, it has been a pleasure having you guys on. I appreciate you guys joining us today.
No problem, buddy. No problem.
Notorious, Dave, of course.
Hey.
Thank you for sticking around, Notorious, for the season since you came back. And Dave, you only missed one show. I appreciate you guys being here every week. It's been fun. Of course, we're going to keep doing our playoff shows, but we're at week 9, and this was pretty awesome. So with that, I will see everybody next week, hopefully. And good luck to all the teams participating in the playoffs. We'll see you around. Goodbye.
Bye.